Ever feel like you're just wading through, well, everything? Like the world's throwing this constant stream of information demands skills you need to learn.
Oh, absolutely. It's a lot. You feel like you're always playing catch up, right?
Yeah,
Never really getting deep.
exactly. It's easy to feel, overwhelmed.
Totally.
Which is why we're taking a slightly different approach today. We're going deep, but not on the latest tech craze.
Okay.
We're looking at foundational skills, bedrock stuff. And we're using insights from Robert Greene, specifically from his YouTube video, 3 Essential Skills for Today's World.
Ah, Green. Right. He's got such a unique perspective on power, strategy, human nature. He digs into the fundamentals.
He really does. And what I liked about this video is it's not about specific job skills, but these core personal abilities, things that matter no matter what you do.
Makes sense. So where do we start? What's the first one?
First up is social acuity, which sounds fancy, but it's basically being good with people, really understanding them.
Right, but Green frames it as a skill, doesn't he? Not just, having a certain personality type, something you actually develop.
Precisely. It's more than just being sociable or friendly. It's about paying real attention, like close attention to individuals.
Understanding what they need, their energy, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and he uses this phrase, enter their spirit, which means like genuinely trying to see things from their angle.
Mm-hmm. To avoid accidentally stepping on toes or causing friction.
Exactly. And think about the impact. You could be technically brilliant, just amazing at your job.
But if you constantly misread the room or offend people without meaning to.
Yeah. Green says it can basically neutralize your other strengths. Like all that talent gets undermined because you can't navigate the human element.
That's a powerful point. It really resonates. It's like having great code that won't integrate.
Good analogy.
Mm.
So how do you build this skill? His advice is pretty straightforward, actually.
Get out more.
Essentially, yeah. Spend time with people. Real interactions, not just online. He says you need to get out of the purely virtual space.
Which is tougher now, isn't it? We're so screen-focused.
It is. He specifically mentions that if you find yourself isolated, you kind of have to force yourself out there. Join things, talk to people.
It's that direct practice, observing people, getting feedback, even nonverbal feedback.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you hone it.
Right. Okay, so that's social acuity. Skill number 1. What's number 2?
The second one Green highlights, and he suggests this might be the most important, is cultivating a love of learning.
Not just learning, but a love of it, that intrinsic drive.
Exactly. In a world changing this fast, being naturally curious, genuinely wanting to learn and improve, that's maybe your biggest asset.
That makes sense. And he links it to actual enjoyment, right? Like finding the excitement and getting better.
He does. He tells this great personal story. He was writing a really intense, heavy book.
Yeah.
And he started learning pool on the side. Just pool.
Pool. Okay.
Not to become a pro or anything, but he found this immense pleasure in the process itself. Just the act of improving at something totally different.
I get that. That feeling of progress.
Yeah. He talks about, practicing shots, reading about spin and angles, the thrill when he finally nailed a double bank shot or something.
It wasn't just a distraction. It was the process of learning that was engaging him.
Precisely. And he contrasts that with learning something just because you have to, like maybe slogging through algebra if you hate math.
Compared to diving into French literature, if that's what truly fascinates you.
Right. That genuine interest, that internal spark, it fuels a totally different level of engagement and ultimately deeper learning. It becomes self-motivating.
So find what genuinely excites you and lean into learning that.
That seems to be the core idea. Connect learning to your natural interests.
Okay, love of learning. Got it. What's the third skill?
The third one is patience.
Patience. That feels particularly relevant today.
Doesn't it? Green points out how our whole environment, especially with tech phones, fast internet, everything instant, kind of trains impatience into us.
We expect things now. A slow website is frustrating. A buffer wheel is agony.
Exactly. And he contrasts that with, say, the pre-internet days. If you wanted information, you often had to go to a library, spend hours searching.
It took time, effort.
Effort.
That process itself built a kind of patience, didn't it?
It likely did. And his point is, real skill development, genuine mastery, it just takes time. It's not instant.
There are going to be frustrating parts, plateaus, maybe even boring bits.
Absolutely. Tedious practice, setbacks. You have to be willing to slow down and accept that, to embrace the non-linear journey.
He even mentions feeling that frustration himself when learning pool, remember? He said he was bad at first. It was annoying.
Yeah, he found it irritating. But he didn't quit. He stuck with the practice. Slowly, patiently, he got better.
Which then led to that story about playing pool with 50 Cent.
Right. Feeling pretty good about his skills.
And then getting totally schooled by some random guy in a Manhattan pool hall.
Huh. Yeah. A perfect reminder that mastery is a long game. There are levels to it, and you need patience for that whole journey.
It's a great illustration. Now, connected to these three, he also briefly mentions managing boredom and anxiety.
Yes, those are like crucial support skills, aren't they?
How so? How do they fit in?
Well, think about boredom. If you can't tolerate feeling bored sometimes...
You won't stick with the tedious practice needed for patience.
Exactly. Being able to sit with a task even when it's not immediately thrilling is key to putting in the hours, which builds patience and skill.
Okay, that makes sense. And anxiety.
Well, starting something big, a business, a book, learning a complex skill, the finish line can feel incredibly far away. That can create anxiety.
Yeah, the feeling of this is going to take forever, or can I even do this?
Right, and that anxiety can make you rush, cut corners, or just give up. So managing that feeling, staying focused on the process, not just the distant outcome, that's vital for maintaining patience.
So they're all intertwined. Patience helps you handle boredom. Managing anxiety helps you maintain patience.
It's like they create the right mental space for deep learning and skill development to actually happen.
Okay, so I have social acuity, a love of learning, patience, and these supporting skills. What's the end game here? Why develop these specifically?
The ultimate goal, as Green sees it, is mastery. But maybe not in the way we always think.
Meaning?
It's not necessarily about being the world's #1 expert in one single thing. It's about achieving real depth, real mastery in at least 2 different areas.
2 areas, and then combining them.
That's the idea. He uses himself as an example. His mastery of writing and his deep mastery of historical research and analysis.
And bringing those together led to the 48 Laws of Power.
Exactly. That unique combination created something new and powerful.
So in a world with so much information and so many learning opportunities,
If you develop these core skills, the social intelligence, the drive to learn, the patience to go deep, you can then combine different areas of knowledge or skill in really interesting ways.
create something unique at the intersection.
Precisely. But it hinges on having that foundation. You need the patience and the love of learning first to even get to the point where you have deep skills to combine.
That foundational work is non-negotiable, basically.
It seems so. It's the prerequisite for that higher level combination and innovation.
Okay, let's wrap this up a bit. We've done a deep dive into Robert Greene's 3 essential skills.
Social acuity, understanding people. A love of learning, that intrinsic drive. And patience, the willingness to embrace the long game.
Plus those supporting skills. Managing boredom and anxiety.
Right. And the key thing is, these aren't just personality traits you're born with.
They're skills. Developable.
Mm.
Practical. Things you can actively cultivate to navigate, well, everything today throws at you.
Absolutely. They have real-world impact on achieving what you want to achieve.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Which one of these core 3, social acuity, love of learning, or patience, feels like your biggest current challenge?
Interesting question.
And just imagine, what if you consciously decided to work on that one? Really focus on building that specific skill.
How might that unlock new things for you, especially if you combine it with interests you already have?
Exactly. Applying that focused skill plus patient effort to something you're already drawn to. Where
Yeah.
could that lead? What unexpected mastery might emerge?
It's definitely something worth mulling over, how combining those foundational abilities could really open up new paths.